Hello everybody, today is Kai Likes Linux Day. It is the new national holiday as I have 2 videos to record today, which is interesting. And by the way, no, I do not edit my videos. I think personally with the content that I do, it's easier just to have switching and it would be easier for the user, unless I really need to add like let's say a quote right here, but that's in very, very, very specific cases, like the choral video. Anyways, yes, I'm stalling because I really don't want to talk about this. I'm talking about the worst operating system I've ever used. Windows, and as well as the second worst operating system I've ever used, ChromeOS. So, that was a stupid joke. There is a debate going on, not a debate, but like news articles going on saying the following, and I'm going to start with Ars Technica's version because that's the one I know. Well, that's the one I read in whole, and this one I read partially. The world's second most popular desktop operating system isn't macOS anymore. ChromeOS's rise in the market has been swift and decisive. Now, if you know anything about OS market share issues, you'd know that anything to say that X operating system other than Windows being second place, like if it's close like this, close, then who fucking knows? The reason is, well, yes, we can all agree Windows is the most used operating system. I'm actually on Windows for school reasons right now. That's not really debatable, but what is debatable is what its percentage in the market share is. Because if we go into what I trusted, stat counter by Global Stats, something that even Brian Lunduke used. You see that Windows is 76.26% of the market share, but here they say it's 80.5%. And here, it's reaching the 70s. It's right around where you would expect it to be based on GS stat counter. So the problem with calculating whether or not an operating system is the second most popular operating system is the margin for error is massive, as well as the fact that technically you're going to run into another problem. Well, who the hell do you trust and how the hell do you get this data? Because 1.2% other, well, yes, Linux is at 1.2% according to GS stat counter, that's the URL. Linux is at like 1% of the market share, well, FreeBSD is at 0, which I bet is just a rounding situation. But many Linux users I know also use FreeBSD, and people like Scheichel, a personal, I wouldn't say friend, personal decent buddy of mine. We don't get along with every opinion we have, but good person. Go check him out. I'll probably link whatever he has down in the description down below. Anyways, ChromeOS here has 1.9%, 91%. It's just as big as Linux. It's the exact same size as Linux. Bar a little bit of margin of error and some rounding issues with the website. 3% is unknown. What does this mean? I mean, if this means other, why not throw FreeBSD into that? Anyways, that's just a nitpick. And OS X is at 16.91%, and 16.726% is Windows. Why am I making such a big deal about GS stat counter right now when these are the 2 articles people care about? Well, again, this is another way to say, how the hell do you get this data? How the hell can you be sure? Could you use corporate sales figures? Sure, but what about ones that already exist, or ones that were traded, or ones that were turned into Chromebooks, or Chromebooks that were turned into Linux machines, which I have seen done a million times. Okay. So, we can't be 100% sure that ChromeOS is the second most popular operating system. We just can't. Honestly, guys, people who say it's an absolute certainty are trying to get you clicking, but you know what? It's not the worst clicks in the world because there are some reasonings to this. Because 2020 was the first year Chromebooks outsold Macs, which is a solid way to say, maybe ChromeOS is the second biggest operating system. Or it could just be that Macs, everyone already, like a lot of people already have a Mac, or they're buying both, and they're just getting a Chromebook for the kids. It's really hard to say why they are they're number two. And it was the first full year ChromeOS took second place. Microsoft Windows still retained majority of the market, but also took a big hit as both macOS and ChromeOS gained market share. So, okay, they're both gaining market share. They're both up there. We can at least conclude one thing. We can estimate that Microsoft Windows is at the quarter 4 margins. Quarter 4, ChromeOS at 11.5, and quarter 4 results, again, I didn't read this one. 85.4, again, different from this number. In 2019, 80.05 in... Again, I didn't read this one. I just knew this one was the one ours technical link to, and as well as Linus Tech Link. Not Linus Tech Tips, Tech Link, their other channel. And 7.5% in 2020. Both gained market share. Okay. Now, am I salty that this isn't Linux growing market share? No, of course not. That'd be stupid. Because the problem with Linux is these guys are in big box stores, owned, all three of these are multi-billion. One of them might even be might soon be a multi-trillion dollar company. All these have the chance of being owned by multi-trillion dollar companies if they're scary enough. And why do people trust Google or Microsoft or Apple? I mean, actually, never mind. I can see why they trust Apple. Apple's privacy is far better than Windows. I can give it that. Windows privacy is the second worst of this list behind ChromeOS, where every little app, every little thing you do on your OS is being watched. And on Windows, it's just slightly less. But I digress. Why am I so upset about this? Because it's proof that the Linux community is fucking up. Hey guys, Canonical, Red Hat, IBM, Arch Linux. Guys, come on. Debian, all y'all. There is a marketing opportunity here. Gentoo, you have the biggest marketing opportunity. It's not that difficult to crowdfund a couple $100 to make an ad and maybe not even $1,000 to advertise Gentoo, advertise Ubuntu, put actual ads out there. You guys do understand that this is mostly because of advertising? Yes, arguably false advertising because I just remember this Chromebook ad's misleading. This guy, Jay's Tech Vault, who I will link in the description down below, as well with these actual video links, as well as Freezing Bears, because this one I did watch, but it wasn't what I thought it was. My bad. But Jay's Tech Vault he was like, no, these are misleading ads. Chromebooks are using misleading advertising, but guess what? It's effective advertising. And that's what Linux needs to do. Linux is already on the level of Chromebook in supported apps. People are like, oh my god, guys, we're not going to succeed because we're too complicated. We don't have all the apps we need to. No one fucking cares about app support. We game better than Chromebook. We do Office software. We have Office software. We have a bunch of options. And it's not difficult in modern Linux times. The reason I'm so pissed off with Chromebooks taking second place, arguably, is mostly because the fault of the people in the Linux community. We need to start advertising our asses off. Otherwise, we're going to stay in this 1.2% of the market share. And that's not a joke. Yeah, no developer on their right mind would ever use ChromeOS. But macOS is not far behind it, and they're both taking away Windows market share. And guess who is not exactly taking that much market share from Windows? Linux. I know people like Linux for Everyone and all of them are trying to give hope to the Linux community. But I'm not going to sugarcoat this. If we don't solve our goddamn advertising problem, we're not going to become a huge platform. And if you don't mind me, I'm going to take that knowledge, knowing that these companies are successful because of advertising, because literally, how do you think ChromeOS got in the market in the first place? Advertising in schools. You can't get anywhere without advertising yourself, and if y'all aren't gonna fucking do it, guess what? I might as fucking well. So, I want to prove this to you guys, but at the same time, we really need to turn this 1.2% into a 2%, maybe even 3% or 4%. I will settle for 4% of the market share because that's about half, almost just over half of, just a little, around half of what macOS has. That's actually impressive to have half of what macOS has, and we just need to do one simple thing. Guys, come on. This is a fucking meme to say. Are you guys serious? Also, by the way, there's more evidence that data is probably wrong here, because there are places that say Linux has 7% of the market share, but who the fuck knows? Anyways, my name is Kai, this is Kai Likes Linux, and I'll see you in the Linux Mints video. Have fun.